Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is GBall. Today, we're taking a look at a knife coming in from Wixco Knives. This is a brand spanking new release for them, and it is called the Splark. There's several different versions and a couple of different price points. We're going to get into all that and more. If you've never stopped by here before, welcome to GBall Vision. Let me know down in the comments what knives you have in your pocket today. The Splark is going to range between 76 and 112, and then there is a version sitting at 106. So 3 different price points and 4 different versions, at least on the initial release. The basic version at 76 is G10, and it does have a two-tone blade, but it's a little bit different than the one you see here. That is more like a stonewash satin. It also looks good and has a green G10 handle. Then they have a couple of different carbon fiber versions with some different blade finishes. This one here is going to be the top dog, at least for this initial drop. You have the two-tone black and satin 14C 28N modified sheepsplit blade, full length fuller, and a rear flipper for the deployment. And then this is going to be sporting that red and black carbon fiber. It looks really, really good. You have a non-tooled logo pivot there on the show side. It is going to be a deep carry clip, and that is left-hand friendly, so lefties can jump for joy. It is a standard liner lock, great access there with a chamfer. As far as the detent goes on this, it feels pretty good. I think it needs a little bit of break-in, but seems to be pretty strong, and the flipper tab is done well. It's got nice jimping, protrudes out nicely, and you can get a ton of leverage on it. I'm a big fan of this blade. It's not a style we see often, and it's a very versatile blade shape in my opinion, especially for the utility side of things. It's not going to be a huge knife, but not a small knife either. Without the tape measure here and give you a look at that, it is going to come in at 8 1/4 overall, 3 9/16 of cutting edge, 3 5/8 of total blade. For some size comparisons, we have the Spyderco Pair 3 up top and the PM2 on the bottom. This is going to be much closer to something like the PM2. And 2 more, we have the Kershaw Bel Air standard size up top, and then the Concept Fenrir on the bottom. And the Splark's going to be even bigger than the Fenrir. Grab the 50 ways baked in GBall Vision Hank and get a look at this pocket clip. I like how it comes to that off angle there. That'll help get this over seams a lot easier. And it is going to be surface mounted, but the screws are recessed. They use this clip on quite a few different designs, and I am pleased with it. It works fine. Ergonomically speaking, it also feels good in the hand. You will have a tiny bit there poking out, but I would say less than an inch. So pretty deep. It is going to have good retention. And as I said, it is left-hand friendly, but there's a close-up look at that. Plenty of clearance in there to get this in and out of your pocket. Switch gears here and we'll get the arch nemesis out and give this bad boy a weight check. Now, I like to play a fun little game here on the channel where I attempt to guess the weight, and I always invite you to play along. You can put your guess down in the comments. Ounces or grams, whichever you prefer. Even if you already have a comment or 2 down there, go ahead and put your guess. And if you're enjoying this video, you like knives and EDC gear or just gear in general, hit that subscribe button and stab the bell. That way you never miss another video. I'm going to give this a go. We do have steel liners in there, and they are recessed. Very clean looking knife in my opinion. It's going to keep it pretty light though because of the carbon fiber. Decent size. I'm going to say this thing is falling in there right at the 3.4 mark, somewhere in there. I don't think it's up at like the 3.7, 3.8. So I think 3.4 feels pretty good. Lock it in. Lock it in. I'll take that. For those of you driving, it says 3.6 ounces, which we know this thing's a bullshitter. 102 grams for those couple of weirdos out there. 3.6, it's a solid weight for a knife in carbon fiber. For those of you who don't know what I mean by that, I get tired of every knife being ultra lightweight when it's completely unnecessary. And I say bring back heftier knives. I like when knives feel like a tool for the most part. Definitely a place for lighter weight knives, but not everything has to be that way. We're going to get the calipers out, which is a measuring tool, and we're going to get some measurements on the handle and blade, 0.44 and 11.3 millimeters. So fairly thin handle. We'll get a look here at the blade stock, which is the thickest part of the blade, 3.2 millimeters, 127 thousandths. Pretty standard stuff for this size. We'll get a look here at the BTE, get the best hold and fairest hold that we can. And that's going to come in right there at 24 thousandths, directly behind the edge. Let's see how this thing cuts out of the box. We are currently out of magazine paper. That's what I typically use, and it used to be phone book paper, but we're going to give it a shot here with this notebook paper. Should give us a decent idea. No, it doesn't tell us everything we would like to know, and it doesn't offer you up a edge test on this or a blade steel test, but you know, we work with what we got, right? And this edge, we know 14C is a tough steel, corrosion resistant. It's a good blade. It's a good blade steel for knives under $100. You know, and this coming right in there at that price with carbon fiber, you know, that adds a layer of price tag to this. That adds an additional layer to this knife cost wise. The carbon fiber is just naturally going to cost more. The edge felt good. Let's get a look at the hardware situation. Non-tooled pivot here. We have a T8 in the driver. That is T8 there on the body. Two of those, and then the non-tooled pivot. Our pivot is going to be T8. The pocket clip screws are going to be T6, so I would like to see T8 there, especially with a brand new release. I think T8s would be the way to go. And even if that entailed adjusting these pocket clips to accept T8, I think that would, you know, I think that'd be the way to go. I think I would modify it now and get it out of the way. That way, moving forward, it is always going to be T8 for the standard deep carry clip designs. Of course, just my opinion, you're not really going to need to touch those screws to disassemble the knife, so you don't really need to mess with them. But all in all, still would be nice to have T8s. Not the end of the world, though, because it is T6. Run this guy through a couple of checks here. It is perfectly centered up. As I said earlier, the detent feels good. Action is nice and smooth. And as the video has went on, as I have messed with this more and more, it has gotten smoother and the action's gotten even better. It's not that it was bad when it first came out of the box, but like it needed that break-in, right? And this would be a good push button folder as well. It's all going to vary from knife to knife, but I would say generally Wixco, Monster, they do a good job with their detents. Of course, there's going to be some that are very strong, some that are a little bit lighter, but for the most part, I think they do a good job at getting it where it needs to be. As far as the thumb and reverse flick, you can go up and down this entire blade wherever you want to flip it out on both sides. Plenty of access all over this thing. So if you like to flick really low, which there are people out there who like to flick down here, you'll be able to accomplish that no problem. Can you do it up close to the pivot up here? You certainly can. Feels really good, as a matter of fact. All up and down this blade, it feels very good. Even down here, it just feels pretty damn good. I'd say this is a master reverse flicker right here. Good thumb flicker as well. And then that flipper's nice just if you need to get the blade out quickly. Let's go ahead and introduce this knife to the spine whacker. The lockup is going to be sitting at about 30%. We'll get the old spine whacker out here and see what this thing is made of. Give it a couple of tugs up and down, side to side. See if we can feel any movement, which I don't. It actually feels pretty good. Pivot lash, there's no pivot lash with this knife. And if we close it up here, I'll demonstrate there is no detent lash with this feller either, which just means good quality control, and good machining. As far as the lockup goes, let's see what we have here. We'll give it a light tap out towards the tip there. That puts a ton of stress on that lock and really tells us a lot. And that sounds pretty good, actually. Let's go ahead and give it another. We're not doing this to see if you can hammer a nail into a tree with the spine of your blade or build your house. We're just doing this to make sure if you accidentally meet some additional force to your knife while you're using it, or whatever type of accident you want to insert, just make sure it's not just going to lackadaisically close on you. We want stuff that's going to have, you know, a decently strong lockup. And a double tap there to really push it beyond its bounds. And another one, just because. We'll do another. Oh yeah, it sounds good, feels good. We're gonna run this through a couple of checks here. Again, make sure everything is functioning as it was, still perfectly centered up. Check this detent here and the closing action. Everything feels good. No changes in the lockup either. I don't know if I said, but great access there. It is chamfered. I'd like to see that jimped, but here again, not a huge deal. They did make it left-hand friendly. Another really cool feature of the new Splark here, not only does it have the two-tone blade and the carbon fiber handles, these carbon fiber handles are going to be UV reacted. So you'll be able to take any UV light, black light, and show off your little party trick with the carbon fiber scales. It's a nice little party trick that they have. What would be even cooler is if you could charge this and it would hold that charge for, you know, an extended period. But either way, if you're into raves or if you're into showing people cool party tricks with your UV flashlight and knife, you'll be able to accomplish that with the new Splark. I think this is a cool design. I think a lot of people are going to like this one. Let me know your thoughts on the new Splark, and let me know what Wixco knives you own in the collection. I look forward to hearing from you. Do me a solid and hit the thumbs up button. And if you want to make sure you never miss another video, hit the subscribe button and stab the bell. I will have a link and discount code down in the description over to Wixco and Monster's websites. And I do have a discount code for both of them down there. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day. I will catch you on the next one.